Remember that green chili that we made a couple of days ago? This bad boy. So I'm going to do a shredded pork with that. And I'm cooking in my pajamas because I need to get this bad boy started because I forgot to take her out of the freezer last night like an idiot. So we have a completely frozen pork. So what we're gonna do here, did I move it? Are we crooked, guys? Maybe. I have OCD and this crookedness is gonna drive me crazy. All right, as best as we're getting right now. We gotta get this in. Okay. I'm gonna season her. Season her up. Remember, we don't need too much because we have a really good flavor sauce, but I just wanna give her something while she's cooking. And I don't know why it's a she. But go ahead, get it on. Okay. So, remember the Holy Trinity of spices. Okay. I'm gonna throw this little sizzle on here because, oh, it's so good on pork. If you haven't seen this, oh my gosh. My brother turned me on to this stuff, and as you can see, I got the biggest jar ever because it's so good. It's Sizzle. It's like a little, I think it's a California company. Try to find it. Okay, so that's it. So we're just going to do that. And I'm going to add a little bit of this little salsa because I have it and I don't want it to go to waste, but I'm going to come in with the other stuff. So this is just that hatch stuff. That's it. We're going to put it on high for about 6 hours or so because it's frozen solid. Okay, so here it is about 6.5 hours later and we are completely tender and ready to pull apart. So I'll show you how the rest goes when it cools down. Okay, we have the pork is all nice and shredded up and I have a pan here. I coated it in avocado oil, just a light coat because the pork is pretty fatty, but I just don't want it to stick. So I'm going to add this to the pan, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the sauce and then just kind of crisp it up. So we'll let this hang out for a minute and then we'll come in with our green sauce. Okay, we've let this cook for about 5 minutes. You can see it's starting to get a nice little sear on it. So we're going to just flip it over and then let it go for a little bit longer. Okay, so you want to be careful here because you want to get it crispy, but then you also don't want to get it too crispy where your meat is dry and gross. So this is pretty much a happy medium right here. So what I'm going to do is that sauce that I made, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add about 3 heaping tablespoons. And let's see how it goes. So what I'm doing here is I'm making taquitos. So I don't want a super wet meat because then it's going to pop and be all over. But if you were doing something more soupy, you could have made this with chunks and then you could add broth to it. But since I'm doing like a taco, or if you're doing a burrito, then you definitely don't want it to be too runny. So you want to be careful. You want to just mix it in until it's real good and has a flavor. But you don't want it too wet. So we're just going to keep stirring this. And then I think I might be able to use another one, but let's see how it goes. I'm going to turn down the heat now. And then you can, if it was too dry, you can always use the reserve from what you cooked it in. So you don't want to throw away that until you really know what you're making and how, moist you want your meat. I had a pretty much a fattier roast, so mine already came out with a lot of moisture. But if you are using a tenderloin, then you would definitely want to save that broth. So I'm gonna add one more. So I did 4, and that was a 2-pound roast, and that was a pork butt roast that I used. So we're just gonna give this a good stir, and then I'm going to just make sure it tastes good. I'm going to probably add a little bit more salt to it, and we're ready to fry up some taquitos. So what I'm gonna do with this is I'm going to let this cool down a little bit so I can handle it and we can get it into the tortillas. And then I'm going to top the taquitos with shredded cheddar cheese. I'm gonna hit this with a little bit of garlic salt because it definitely needed some salt. So be sure to taste your meat, because if your meat's bland going into the taquito, then it's not gonna be a good taquito either. So if you need to add the seasonings, then just adjust. I changed my mind. I'm gonna add the cheese now because I want it to be melty. And then it'll be really easy to fill the tortilla. So I added 2 cups of cheese. But you can add whatever you like. So I'm gonna let this melt and then we'll start preparing it into the tortillas. We're doing just a simple guacamole here. So we have 4 avocados and a half of a lemon and then a full lime. And then we also seasoned it with garlic salt and onion salt. And then we're gonna throw in the tomatoes, green onion. You can use red onion in your guacamole if you like. I just prefer green onion, and cilantro. And then we're also going to add in 1 jalapeno. I like a chunkier guacamole, so you add as little or as much as you'd like. And then just give it a good stir. And then you're just gonna wanna make sure it's good with salt. And you're just gonna throw in the jalapeno and then we're good to go. It's real easy to make a guacamole. We're going to assemble our taquitos right now. So you have to heat it up in the microwave. I was trying to avoid it, but they're gonna crack. So if you don't wanna heat it up in the microwave, then you can always use like a flour tortilla, but I really don't know any other way. Because even if you put it on the stove, it's still gonna crack. So all you do is just get a really good amount of meat, because we want a good meaty taquito, and then roll it and put it seam side down. That way when you go to fry it, you also keep it seam side down and then it closes on you. You can see my mixture doesn't have any liquid in it, so that's gonna avoid it splatting, and it's way easier to prepare. Okay, so I'm gonna get these all rolled up and then we'll get to frying. Okay, let's get frying. We have a stainless steel skillet with avocado oil. And then remember, we're gonna take it and we're gonna get them seam side down in the pan. Don't overcrowd them or you're not gonna get a good fry on them, and it's gonna take forever and it's just not gonna be good. So let's get started. This is the time that you rope your husband into doing the frying, because frying sucks. And I'd probably burn myself. Like that. Maybe he will too. This may be a do not practice this at home. There we go. All right, now that's it. We're gonna leave those and leave them seam side down, like I said, and let them cook until they're almost done and flip them over. I know it would look better if I put the guacamole on top, but then it's gonna get soggy, so we're not doing that today. Okay, we're gonna give it a taste.
Bomb.